Welcome UAB friends. It's Ashley Clarke once again with Earthkeeper Yoga here in my home studio in Birmingham, Alabama. And before we get started today, I do want to invite you to subscribe and follow along here on this channel. The other thing I'm going to invite you to do is to go to Facebook or Instagram, whatever your favorite social media platform is, of those two at least, and follow along with me at Earthkeeper Yoga. So there's some big announcements coming, some things that I don't want you to miss. And so the more you're plugged in, the more likely you are to see big announcements that are coming soon. So for today's class, I'm going to invite you to have your trusty blanket as well as a couple of blocks. So grab what you need and I'll meet you right here on the mat. All right, sweet friends, as we get started today, before we even move into anything else, this class is driven by the idea of we are moving from spring into summer. And so sometimes when things feel really hot, we get overheated in our physical body. And so I want to teach you a different breath. This is a cooling breath. And so what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through the nose and then blow it out through the mouth, making little fish lips like this. And then we're going to inhale through those fish lips and exhale through the nose. Okay, so in through the nose, fish lips, inhale, exhale through the nose. Okay, that's all we're going to do. So before we get started with that, let's go ahead and find our comfortable seat. So I've got my trusty blanket or beach towel. My tailbone is hanging right off the front of the blanket. Hips come forward, easier to ripple up through the spine. Let those arms rest gently in the lap. And as always, if your easy seat does not look like mine, that does not mean that you are doing anything wrong. You have to be comfortable in your body. So legs could just be in a simple, easy seat where the legs are not crossed and stacked, or you could even send the legs out front. Do anything that you need to do to be able to become comfortable. So we're going to let those hands rest in the lap, find some length through the spine, and then I'm going to invite you to close the eyes or just send a soft gaze towards the floor. Let's begin first with a letting go breath. So inhale deep through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. And just give yourself just a moment or two here before we begin with this cooling breath pattern, just to feel into your physical body. So we know there's a little bit of engagement through the core to hold this spine long, but where else can you soften? So maybe through the legs, through the hips, through the shoulders, through the jaw. And allow the breath just to stay in and out through the nose, just for the time being. Maybe allow those breaths to deepen just a little bit, taking up more space in the belly and the ribs, near the heart. And allowing the exhales just to take away any really stale air that might be holding itself deep in the low belly. So deeper inhales, almost like a clearing out of cobwebs, and then as you exhale, let everything go. So I'll invite you to either keep the eyes closed, soft gaze, or if you feel more comfortable moving through these cooling breaths by keeping your gaze on me, you're welcome to look at me, make fishy faces. We're going to begin now. So inhale through the nose, fish lips. Inhale, fish lips. Out through the nose. Maybe close the eyes and find your cycle of breath here. Nice and deep. 2 more. And keep those eyes closed, or a soft breath, soft gaze rather, and go ahead and find your way onto your back. Move your blanket out of the way. And keep those knees bent, feet connected to the mat, and just let yourself go ahead and completely release into the mat. So really releasing through the back body. Get any fidgets here out that you need to, so that you feel like the back is completely planted against the mat. And then tilt that tailbone up ever so slightly so that you can feel the low back connected to your mat. Take a nice big letting go breath. And do that again, and notice the expansion, the space that is able to fill your container. Inhale deep. And exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Extend those legs long down the mat. Send the arms up over the head, but let the shoulders bend naturally so that you feel a connection with the shoulder blades completely connected to the mat. And then let's check the position of the head. So chin is in line with shoulders. We're not lifting the chin up. We're going to start to move these feet, these heels, over to the right. Let's be nice and gentle with ourselves. And then maybe cross that left ankle on top of the right. Take an inhale, gently lift through the upper body, and then use the exhale to move over to the right, and then lower down with control, feeling that opening through the left side body. Soften where you can, make any adjustments that you need here to protect the low back, and then begin to breathe. Keep the breath in and out through the nose. Notice that subtle stretch through the left side body. And give it one more. And take an inhale. Lift up through the upper body. Come back to center, and then lower that upper body back down with control. Uncross these heels. Start to walk those feet through center and then over to your left, crossing the ankles if it feels okay. Settling and softening through the low body. And when you feel contented there, take an inhale, lift up. Exhale, move over to the left, and then lower back down with control, softening where you can, and breathe. Take an inhale. Lift up through the upper body, come back through center, lower with control. And then uncross those feet, bring the heels back towards the center of the mat, and then let the feet begin to walk up so that the knees bend towards the sky. Bring those elbows more in line with the shoulders, more of a goalpost shape. Make sure the chin is parallel with the shoulders. And we're going to take an inhale and bring the elbows towards one another as the knees come up, just crunching in. Inhale there. And then exhale to lower back down. And begin to flow just like this. Inhale, rising up. And exhale to release. Moving in this way. And if it's too much for your body to lift the knees and the upper body, choose one or the other and be gentle with yourself. Notice if the jaw clenches up as you rise up with the upper body. Invite in the softness as you bring in those exhales. And let's do 2 more. Lowering down, resting, extending the arms into a wide T, and then bringing those knees up towards the chest. Rock side to side. There's a little massage there for the low back. Beautiful. Lift the legs up towards the sky. Circle those ankles, point and flex the feet. And then lift the arms up towards the sky as well. Settle the shoulders back down and find some movement through the wrists and the fingers. So we're in a position called dead bug. All right, hug those knees in towards the heart or right outside of the ribs, whatever's more comfortable. Squeeze the knees towards the heart or the rib cage. Notice the placement of the head. Keep the chin in line with the shoulders. 1 more breath. And then I'm going to invite you to come up to a seat. And if it's not comfortable to rock and roll up the spine, just roll over to one side and use the outside, the top arm, to use the hand to press into the floor to bring yourself up. So when we get into this seat, I'm going to actually stay to the side so you have a better gaze of what we're trying to achieve here. Find your comfortable seat again. Modify it in any way that you need to. You might even extend the legs long. And then if you'll see, I've got a huge curve in the low back. So I'm going to press the tailbone in, ripple through the spine, and leave the chin in line with the shoulders. Bring those arms out in front and then pull the arms back so that the shoulders can stay in line with the upper body. So we're going to start to move forward and back here. There could be some pressure on the ankles. So great thing to have the blanket. If you want to put the heels on the blanket, I even like to put 1 foot through the blanket and then the other on top just because I have bony ankles. So do whatever feels soft and nourishing here. And we're going to bring those shoulders back in line in case you lost your posture there. We're going to inhale forward. Exhale in line with the spine. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Shoulder blades kiss behind. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Beautiful. Let the hands come down to the lap. Find some length through the spine. And then take an inhale. Lift the chin towards the sky. Find a great stretch through the neck. Big, deep inhale through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Bring the chin down towards the chest. Stretch to the back of the neck. And then send the nose towards both shoulders. So just a little side to side here. Feeling into the back of the neck. And give it 1 more. Come back to stillness. Take an inhale. Let the arms rise up as the gaze goes back up towards the sky. Settle the shoulders. Hold it here. Press that tailbone into the floor and feel that engagement through the center of your body. Inhale, bring the chin back in line with the chest. Start to circle the arms nice and big. Let those fingertips temple behind your body. And then bring the shoulder blades together as you lift through the heart. Lift the chin again. Breathe. Keep the jaw soft. Beautiful. Roll the chin down towards the chest, roll through the back of the spine, and then bring yourself back up to a seat. From here, untangle. We're going to use this blanket under the knees. So you might want to go ahead and just move the blanket from that softness of the ankles to where your knees can find the blanket. And I want to tell you before we continue with the class, so the name of the class is Hold Your Head Up. And we're going to be inviting our bodies to transition with us from a spring season into a more of a summer season. So that's why I invited that pranayama that really incorporates a cooling breath. I want you to have that available to you when you feel overheated as we get warmer in our days. All right, so let's move into our table. We've got the ankles behind us. We've got the knees under the hips. And then we're going to tilt that tailbone down, reach through the spine of reach through the crown of the head, find some length through that spine, and we're going to move through cat-cow. So take an inhale, reach crown and tailbone up, and then exhale, round it in nice and slow, intentionally drawing the belly in as the chin comes towards the chest. And inhale, rising right back up, and exhale to round it in. Moving just like this. Give it 2 more. All right. From here, I'm going to invite you to come down to elbows. Clasp those hands together and then go ahead and curl your toes. We're going to take an inhale here and then exhale to lift the hips. This is called dolphin. Hold. One more. Lower the knees, unclasp the hands, and send the booty back. Find a child's pose. Release through the upper body. Take a nice big deep breath. And soften where you can. Slowly start to walk those hands back towards knees. You're going to come sit on your heels. Now, if this is too much, I'm going to give you the option to take one of your blocks and you can put it in between your feet to give yourself a little bit more height, okay? So I've just put it on the smallest side so that my tailbone feels connected to the mat. Leave the blanket right where it is. We'll be moving back into something where you'll want that as well. So just give yourself a moment to find what you need for this posture to be comfortable. And then we're going to inhale those arms back up over the head and then drop the shoulders down. So see if you can tuck that tailbone in, engage through the center of your body, through your core, and breathe. Let the hands come down to the legs. Bring the chin down towards the chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Breathe. Take an inhale, bring the gaze back forward, nice big circle with the arms, and then see if you can lean back, templing those fingers, bringing shoulder blades together, reaching through the heart, and lifting the chin. Shoulder blades squeeze together, breathe. Beautiful. Roll that chin down towards the chest. Shoulder blades come forward. Back curves. Bring those hands back to the lap and then roll yourself back up. All right. So then let's move into a table. And I want you to know that we are going to be moving from here. So I'm going to actually keep the cushion, but give myself a little bit more room to move. So I've unfolded the blanket just a little bit further. And then once you get that blanket how you want it, we're going to go ahead and come down onto the belly. Move anything that you have out of the way at the top of the mat. And then extend the arms over the head. Send the crown of the head away. The legs are stretched out behind you. And then see if you can lower and release through the hips. Give it just a breath. And then start to walk those arms, those hands, so the elbows can come under shoulders. And then press shoulders into the mat to really find some length through the spine. Reach the crown of the head away. Breathing here. Release through the hips. Use the breath to soften where you can. And then slowly start to bring this right knee out even with the right hip. Let that breath flow right down there to that right hip, staying strong through the elbows and the upper body, but giving yourself just a gentle release through that right hip. Start to press into elbows, into the toes on that left foot. You're going to press up and then bring this right knee right under the right hip. Come to hands. That left leg is out behind you. Take an inhale, lift the left leg, and then go ahead and bring it through. So now we're in a kneeling crescent. We're going to take a breath and then reach up through that upper body and then press this right knee into the floor. Find that length through the spine. Take an inhale, send the gaze up, press that left foot into the floor to feel stable. Curl in the pelvis, the tailbone, to find some engagement through the center of your body. Turn those palms away. Reach, reach, reach. Come behind your back. Let the hands come together or just send the fingertips down towards the floor. If the fists come together, press them down right by the sacrum. Bring those shoulder blades together and lift through the heart. Tuck the chin down towards the chest. Release the hands. Take an inhale. Rise up with both. And then lower the hands down in front of you. Curl toes to lift hips. And then come to the top of the mat. We'll meet in a forward fold. Now our legs are really cold here. So give yourself a couple of breaths. Big bend in the knees. Side to side sway with the hips. Hands on blocks if they don't reach the floor so that you can feel nice and stable and supported here. Let's come back into stillness. Take an inhale. And then exhale, ripple all the way up. Close the eyes or find that soft gaze. And give yourself about 3 breaths here to feel nice and connected. From feet to the mat, crown up towards the sky. Completely finding your mountain pose. Slowly open the eyes, and we're going to bring the outside edges of the feet even with the outside edges of the mat. And I'm going to invite you, I'm going to do it this way so you can see. I'm going to invite you to bring those hands when they're down next to the hips. I want you to go ahead and engage through the soles of your feet. Ripple up your strength through your body, starting to feel everything engage, and then begin to lift those arms with control up above your head, and then settle the shoulders. So right now, everything's engaged but the head. Take an inhale, and then exhale to lift the chin. Breathe. Take an inhale. Bring hands together, and then as the hands come down in prayer in front of your heart, bow chin to chest. Shimmy those feet back together, heels under hips. Take an inhale, rise up with the arms and the gaze, and then exhale to find a forward fold. Here's a little side to side sway, a little side to side shimmy. Give it 2 more. All right. Walk those feet back. Find a plank or a kneeling plank. Hold it 2 breaths, long spine. And then slowly lower all the way down to the mat with control. And once you get there, we're going to do the whole thing on the other side. So arms extend long, crown reaches away, and the booty and the hips soften. Breath in the belly, 2 more. And walk those hands up so that you find elbows under shoulders. There's length there, so there's a ripple through the spine. Crown reaches towards the sky, chin in line with the shoulders. And we're going to hold it here 3 breaths. And begin to move this left knee up near or in line with the left hip. Soften where you can. Continue to breathe. And don't lose the integrity in the upper body. Curl toes on the right foot, and then slowly press into elbows, letting that left knee come under the left hip. We'll come to hands. We'll lift the right leg and then bring that right foot through. We'll take an inhale and rise up. And once we get into this kneeling crescent, we're going to press this left knee in, engage through the core of the body, and then we're going to settle these shoulders. Take an inhale, rise up with the gaze, press the right foot into the floor, and use the core muscles to help hold you steady. And turn those palms away, reach, reach, reach. Bring the hands either pointing towards the floor or fists come together, or you make a fist rather with both hands. And then take an inhale, rising up again, stretching through the heart, lifting through the chin. Breathe. So really think about your core muscles holding you stable here. Release the chin down towards the chest. Release the hands. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale, fold forward, curling those left toes to come into that low lunge, and then coming to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Notice how you're feeling here. Give yourself a couple of breaths just to check in with yourself in this forward fold. And then we'll take an inhale. Exhale, rising into our mountain, finding feet connected to the mat, rippling up through the spine, settling the breath. Go ahead and bring those feet to the outside edges of your mat, outside edges of feet to outside edges of mat. Press the feet into the mat, start to ripple up your strength through the spine, and then inhale with arms engaged, lifting up over the head, and as you do, the chin lifts. Breathe. So everything is squeezing together here except your jaw and your brow. And one more breath. Take an inhale. Bring the gaze back down towards the chest, and then bring the hands back together in front of the heart. Shimmy those feet together. Give yourself a breath right here. Inhale deep. Exhale, let it go. And take an inhale to rise up. And then exhale to forward fold. And go ahead and step it back. Find your plank. Just 2 breaths. You can always kneel here. Lower the knees, send the hips back, find a child's pose. And if it feels better in your body to widen the knees where the outside edges of the knees are even with the outside edges of your mat to give your belly more room, it feels delicious. Let yourself have what you need here. Last breath. Beautiful. Inhale, come to table. Send this right leg long behind you and then step it through. We're going to come up to a kneeling crescent, and then we're going to just bring the hands to the heart. All right, so you're going to press that knee, left knee into the mat. You're engaging through the core. You're tucking in that tailbone. There's a stretch right there through the left quad, and you're pressing the right foot into the floor for stability. All right, hold it, hold it, hold it. Nice long spine. And then begin to walk this right foot out to the right. So you're just going to shimmy it over. We're gently opening the hip and then tuck that tailbone in. There's a stretch through that right side. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Bring this right elbow over to the right knee. Take an inhale with this left arm. Reach it up, 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 and over. There's a deeper stretch through that left side body. So find all the strength and integrity through that right elbow up to the right shoulder. Don't dump in any weight. So we're just opening through the hip while also opening through the left side body. And take an inhale, let this left hand come all the way down to the floor, and as it does, lift the right leg and lift the right arm. So toes are pointing towards the sky. Tilt the hips, bring the right hand down, and make your way back into a table. So from here, just shimmy those hips a little bit side to side. All right, let's do the other side. So inhale that left leg back behind. Left knee steps through. Here you are, leaning forward. And then when you feel stable, we're going to rise up and find crescent on this left side, rather. So press the right knee into the mat. Press into the left foot. Engage through the core. Bring those hands down in front of the heart. Find that length through the spine and breathe. All right, we're going to start to shimmy this left foot out to the left. Hip opens. Give yourself a minute to adjust. Bring that left elbow down to the left leg. Inhale, right arm up and over. Really tuck the pelvis forward so that you can feel that stretch through the left hip and the right side body. Inhale, right hand comes down to the floor, and as it does, that left leg reaches up towards the sky, toes up towards the sky, fingertips up towards the sky. Just one more breath. Lower that left knee, lower the left hand, and find yourself a child's pose. So really releasing through that low back. And give it one more breath. Start to come up out of your child's pose. And if you took the knees wide, I invite you to walk them back in towards center. You're going to find those elbows under shoulders again. Fingers interlace, curl toes. Let's find another dolphin. Now, if dolphin doesn't work in your body, you could do an elbow plank. And breathe. Send those hips back. Hold it 3 more breaths. Slowly lower the knees. Come back to hands. And then shimmy those feet over to one side. Beautiful. I'm going to move the blanket out of the way. We're going to be doing the rest of the class from either seated or lying down, so that blanket won't be necessary for the knees. Once you come into that seated position, I invite you to come right back where you were for the last round. So if you need to use the blanket again, go right ahead. We're going to see and just test how we're feeling through the hips now that we've opened the legs just a bit. So bring those arms out in front, bring the shoulders back in line with the upper body. Take an inhale, exhale, bring it in. Do it 3 more times. Beautiful. Lower the hands, change legs. So whichever leg was on top, change it out. Let the other leg come on top. And make any modifications. One side of your body may feel a lot more generous in offering you a comfy seat than the other side. So make any changes that you need to. All right. Send those arms out front, shoulders in line with the upper body. Let's move. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Two more. Shoulders in line with the upper body. Beautiful. Bring the hands down to the legs. Press the tailbone into the floor. Ripple up through the spine. And then lift the head. Gaze up towards the sky. Beautiful. Bring the chin down towards the chest. Walk those fingertips just back behind. So no big shoulder circle, just walking those fingertips back. Squeeze those elbows, ripple up. Find that opening through the heart, and then lift the chin again. Breathe. Beautiful. Roll chin down towards chest. Slowly start to lift the fingers, and as you do, let yourself roll down onto your back. Bring those knees in towards the heart or outside the ribs, and give yourself a little side-to-side sway. All right. So from here, I'm going to invite you to come back to dead bug. So send the legs up towards the sky, fingertips back towards the sky, and then the shoulders settle. Just hold this, flexing the feet towards your chest, and then start to bring the knees a little bit closer towards the chest, just getting a stretch through the back of the legs. I don't even think we did a down dog. We did 2 dolphins. So just hold it here. Just one more breath. Beautiful. Bend those knees. Give yourself a hug. And then slowly move into whatever Shavasana will be for you today. Move with intention as you settle your body into the mat. Feel completely supported, almost weightless. Take an inhale through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. And rest. can slowly begin to bring some awareness back into this space that we have created together. Allow yourself to make some really small movements with the fingers and the toes, wrists and ankles. Reach your arms up over your head. Give yourself that full body stretch. And then allow yourself to either rock back up to a seated position or to roll over to one side. Press the upper arm into the mat to lift yourself up. We're going to meet there together with the hands at the heart, chin bowed down towards chest. Before I share our quote for the day, I want to tell you that there's scientific evidence that suggests that when we're feeling down or overwhelmed or stressed out, that simply lifting the chin and lifting the gaze towards the sky can make us feel just a little bit happier. So use that for whatever it's worth. And then I'm going to share this quote for you today. This is from John Lane. It's called Timeless Simplicity. It said, "A rich industrialist was horrified to find the fisherman lying inside his boat, smoking a pipe. 'Why aren't you out fishing?' asked the industrialist. 'Because I have caught enough fish for the day.' 'Why don't you catch some more?' 'What would I do with them?' 'You could earn more money. Then you could have a motor fitted to your boat to go into deeper waters and catch more fish. Then you would have enough money to buy nylon nets. These would bring you more fish and more money. Soon you may have enough money to own 2 boats, maybe even a fleet of boats. Then you would be a rich man like me. What would I do then?' 'Then you could sit back and enjoy life.' 'Well, what do you think I'm doing right now?' May you sit and enjoy life right where you are. May you know kindness and may you be kind. And until we meet together again, gratitude for practicing with me today. Namaste.